It's Katie here. As you can see, my kitchen cabinets are in need of an update, so I'm going to be completely refinishing them. These cabinets have this weird trim on them that I think was just a little too out of the norm for my comfort, so I decided to cut them off. I started out getting everything wiped out, and then here I'm just having my hubby help me snap a string line across so I can get a straight cut. And then I removed each door hinge with a power screwdriver to make for some quick work. Man, I love those drills. I didn't film this, but I also removed the hinge from the door here as well. Alright, after I got that done, I used a table saw and I just cut that weird frilly trim right off, and then I used a sander to get everything all smooth. After that, I went and sanded all the cupboards really good. I found this tool called the RASP. It works really great grinding the wood down better. I also used a paint scraper to get all the loose bits of paint off. It's not necessary to get all the paint off, just the stuff that's peeling or chipping. I really just wanted to make sure that there would be a smooth finish for the base coat to go onto. So after wiping them down one last time to remove all that sanding dust, I moved on to priming. Since we're not completely stripping the cabinets of paint, the primer is needed to get the wood ready to bond. I ended up using Kilz original primer, but TBH, I think any brand should work. Most of the time it's recommended to do 2 coats of primer, so I really didn't make either coat thick at all. I really don't like using painter's tape because it doesn't always work perfectly, so I just cut each corner by freehand and very carefully edged the brush to the edge it needed to meet. I seriously had to debate with myself whether or not I should paint that corner white too, but I decided to leave it till I paint the kitchen walls and just do it all at once. Alrighty, on to the actual painting. I'm using a paint called Vibrant White. When picking it out, I went for more of a bluish tone than a yellow or a red one. I think that really helps make it look cleaner and less dated as time goes on. I just think any hint of tomato sauce or slightly off color that might make it look dirtier should be gone from the kitchen as much as possible. I also went through and painted the edges of the shelves. I'll be lining them with cabinet paper, so I decided to not spend that much time painting those. Hey, another quick note for you. Maybe take off anything protruding or in your way like paper towel holders, towel bars, or hooks before you actually start priming or even sanding, unlike how I finally get this picture down on nearly the last coat. Whoops. Alright, then I moved on to the same steps for the cupboard doors and drawers. When I was sanding, I just made sure to get all the nicks and dents smoothed out and made sure they were completely dust-free. Okay, I tried the tape thing to keep them all labeled and organized so I could get them back to their proper places, but that wasn't super helpful because I really didn't want to put the tape back on even like 3 hours after painting. I just didn't want to ruin the paint, so I decided to forget about that and just keep them in the order that I took them off in. So I followed the same pattern through all the processes. When I took them off, I set them in line and then I picked them up in that reverse order to sand them and prime them with the first coat, and then I reversed that order for the second coat of primer, and then I just did the same thing with the paint. I believe each door made it back to their proper homes in the end. I've seen some who just keep the cupboard door directly below where it belongs, just on the counter or the floor, leaving it there for the whole project, but that seemed like it took kind of a lot of space, which I just didn't have, so I put all mine in a bedroom. I found some boxes to set every door on. You definitely need something under the cupboard door so you can paint the edges. It worked great for me to go back and forth with the brush and the roller. I was able to knock out all the doors pretty quickly. After I got everything all painted and let them fully dry, I moved on to attaching the hinges to the cupboards. It was super convenient using the same type of hinges so that I didn't have to drill new holes. I just screwed the new hinge into the door and then attached it to the cupboard and then continued to do the same for each door. The hinges came with these real fancy little tabs to silence the cupboards when they shut, so I threw them on there too. So finally, I got to add the final touches onto this project. I found these oil rubbed bronze knobs and handles on Amazon. They looked like they'd be a nice accent and were very simple installing, each with a screwdriver and the included screws. Priming and painting the drawers was the easiest because I just pulled them out and stood them up on their end and then gave them all 4 coats in a row, allowing them an hour or 2 in between each. And there's Berkeley, who just couldn't stay out any longer. Seriously, that puppy dog is just way too curious about everyone's project. She's all up into my business all the time, so she had to be locked out for most of this project, and it's been way too long for her.
Alright, so I just finished my kitchen cabinets. I think it turned out way better than I thought it would. It really gave it the update that it needed. One thing I really liked was the drawer handles. I didn't think it would matter that much which handles I got, which doorknobs, but I really like that these ones have a little bit more to them. The other ones I had were just a bar. But I think with just like the basic white, it makes it stand out more, so I really liked that effect. If I could change something, I would try and use hidden hinges. If you can see these hinges, and I mean, they're just white hinges, but I guess I just didn't really like how they overlap, and I didn't really have enough room on this bar. I tried originally to find hidden hinges, but it's complicated because your door has to be thick enough, and you have to drill into it. It's just pretty complicated. So, but I think that if I were to do it again, I would want hidden hinges and just figure out how to make that happen. But honestly, the white ones, you can't really tell. You know, you don't really see them when you look at everything because it's just white. And the only thing that you really do see are those accents. So